Chapter 12. The Architect of Lies and the Veritas Unveiling. After leaving Xylor, the rogue star had found a temporary hidden sanctuary within a dense, unmapped nebula known only as the Silent Veil. It was a chaotic cloud of interstellar dust and gas, too volatile for regular patrols, too devoid of resources to attract pirates. Here, Rex Vance, Alara Reese, and their new enigmatic ally, Ghost, could finally regroup. Their first priority was to analyze the newly acquired Veritas fragment from Xylor. Alara carefully connected it to the rogue star's modified console, the faint Libertonian hum filling the small cockpit. Ghost, ever silent, stood by, his mirrored visor reflecting the swirling nebular light outside. "It's a complex data structure," Alara murmured, her fingers dancing across the holographic interface. "Even more intricate than the previous fragments, it contains historical records, philosophical texts, and blueprints for something massive." As the fragment projected its data into the ship's systems, a new, more comprehensive holographic display shimmered to life. It was a partial blueprint of the Libertonian homeworld, not as it appeared in the Council's propaganda, but as it truly was, a sprawling, harmonious civilization, powered by a colossal central energy conduit. And crucially, it showed the point where the Council's initial attack had fractured that conduit, leading to the Great Scattering. "This isn't just history, Alara," Rex said, his voice grim as he recognized the tactical markings. "This is a battle plan, or rather, the aftermath of one." "It's more than that, Captain," Alara corrected, her eyes wide with revelation. "This fragment contains the schematics for the Libertonians' primary defense system. It was never a weapon of war, but a planetary energy shield designed to dissipate kinetic energy and absorb aggressive attacks without retaliation. The Council didn't just defeat them, they deliberately bypassed their non-lethal defenses to inflict maximum damage." Ghost's synthesized voice cut through the air. "The Council's historical records state that the Libertonians were an aggressive, technologically superior threat. This blueprint proves they were pacifists simply defending themselves. The lie is immense." Just as the revelation sank in, Whisper, the Libertonian contact, resonated in their minds, his voice filled with a familiar sorrow. "You have uncovered a vital truth. The Council's deception runs to the very core of their legitimacy. They orchestrated a brutal campaign, then erased all evidence to solidify their power." "Whisper," Rex thought back, "we need to know more about the Shadow Keepers, especially their leader. Valerius isn't just a soldier, he's a zealot. Who is he really?" "Valerius is a figure of tragedy and manipulation," Whisper conveyed. "He was once a brilliant Federation strategist, deeply loyal to Galactic order. But he was disillusioned by perceived weaknesses within the Council. He was then subtly recruited by a highly influential, unseen figure within the Federation's high command, a figure who became the true architect of the Shadow Keepers. This individual," Whisper continued, "is known as Grand Admiral Theron Vane. He is a master of deception, a formidable tactician, and a staunch believer in absolute control. He views any threat to his vision of galactic order as an existential danger, and he groomed Valerius, twisting his loyalty, convincing him that the Libertonian truth was the ultimate threat, a force that would plunge the galaxy into chaos." Alara gasped. "Grand Admiral Theron Vane, he's a living legend, the architect of the Federation's modern fleet, a war hero." "War hero or war criminal," Rex muttered, the pieces clicking into place. "He probably orchestrated the entire Regulation Wars cover-up to secure his own power." "Indeed," Whisper confirmed. "He recognized the power of the Veritas Protocol, not just as history, but as a weapon of truth. He saw it as a tool that could shatter the foundations of his engineered order. Valerius is merely his most fanatical pawn." "So, Vane is the real target," Rex said, his jaw tightening. "But how do we expose a Grand Admiral? He's untouchable, probably protected by a network of loyalists." "He is protected by layers of deception and authority," Whisper conceded. "But every lie has a weakness. The next fragment, a crucial piece of the Veritas Protocol, is rumored to contain direct evidence linking Admiral Vane to the original suppression of the Libertonian truth. It is located on a desolate, ice-covered moon known as Xylos Minor, within a forgotten Council black site." "A black site?" Alara questioned. "That sounds even worse than a secure archive. Those places are usually off the grid, no official records." "Precisely," Ghost's voice interjected. Black sites are designed to be forgotten, but their security is often less about advanced technology and more about isolation and extreme environmental conditions, a different kind of challenge. Rex looked at the holographic map. Xylos Minor was a frozen speck at the edge of a dead system, far from any major trade routes. It was perfect cover for a secret. "All right," Rex said, a grim determination settling over him. "Admiral Vane, it's time to expose the architect of lies. Ghost, how do we get into a black site?" "Black sites rely on disinterest and extreme conditions to deter intruders," Ghost replied. "Their external defenses are minimal, designed for internal containment rather than external attack. The primary challenge will be the environment and bypassing their internal self-contained systems. It will require a blend of environmental survival, precision infiltration, and brute force to deal with automated defenses." He then detailed his plan for Xylos Minor. It involved using the rogue star's robust shielding to withstand the moon's perpetual blizzards and extreme cold. Once on the surface, they would have to navigate through treacherous ice canyons to reach the hidden entrance to the black site. Ghost would handle the internal security, exploiting the black site's reliance on outdated, though heavily redundant systems. As they approached Xylos Minor, the viewscreen became a swirling vortex of white. The moon was a frozen wasteland, perpetually buffeted by savage blizzards and temperatures that could freeze exposed metal in seconds. "Atmospheric pressure stable, but temperatures are dropping fast, Captain," Alara reported, shivering slightly despite the ship's climate control. "We're looking at minus 150 degrees Celsius outside." "Just another Tuesday for a space trucker," Rex grumbled, but even he felt the bite of the cold radiating through the hull. "Ghost, guide us in. Where's the entrance to this black site?" Ghost directed him towards a particularly deep, narrow ice canyon. "The entrance is buried beneath glacial ice, masked by natural rock formations. It requires precision piloting to access without detection." Rex expertly maneuvered the rogue star into the canyon, the powerful blizzards tearing at the ship, shaking it violently. The ice walls loomed large, threatening to scrape the hull. It was a harrowing descent, a testament to Rex's skill as a pilot. They finally reached a hidden alcove, partially shielded from the blizzard. A faint, almost imperceptible energy signature pulsed from the ice wall. "This is it," Ghost confirmed, his voice barely audible over the howl of the wind. "The black site's main entrance is beneath this ice. It's camouflaged." Their next challenge was to breach the entrance. The rogue star's external drills, normally used for asteroid mining, were put to the test. The ice was incredibly dense, reinforced with hidden layers of durasteel. After a grueling hour of drilling, accompanied by the constant threat of ice collapses, they finally broke through. They found themselves in a narrow, ice-rimmed tunnel leading deeper into the moon. The air inside was frigid but surprisingly breathable, filtered by the black site's ancient life support. "All right, Ghost," Rex said, his breath fogging in the cold air. "Lead the way. Alara, stick close." They moved through the desolate corridors of the black site. It was clear this place had been abandoned for decades, possibly centuries. Dust motes danced in the beams of their helmet lights, and the silence was absolute, broken only by the crunch of their boots on the icy floor. Ghost, moving like a phantom, navigated the decaying complex with uncanny precision. He bypassed corroded security consoles, deactivated ancient laser grids, and opened sealed doors that hadn't seen daylight in ages. "The fragment is in the central data vault, level 3, Ghost murmured, his voice echoing in the eerie silence. "The core systems are still active, but they are isolated from the main council network. No external communication, a perfect place to hide secrets." As they descended to level 3, the atmosphere grew colder, the silence heavier. They finally reached the main data vault. It was a massive cylindrical chamber, filled with rows of cryogenic data storage units. The air here was almost painfully cold, causing ice crystals to form on their visors. "The fragment is in Unit Gamma 7, Ghost indicated, pointing to a specific storage unit. But as they approached, a sudden blinding flash of light erupted from the center of the vault. The air shimmered, and from what seemed like thin air, a figure materialized. It was Commander Valerius, his dark armor gleaming, his transparent visor revealing his cold, determined face. He was flanked by 2 shadow keepers, their weapons raised. "Captain Vance," Valerius's voice resonated, full of contempt, "I knew you would come here. Your pursuit of the Veritas Protocol has become a predictable pattern. Grand Admiral Vane anticipated your movements. This fragment will not leave this site. Valerius, Rex snarled, raising his plasma pistol. You're a fool serving a liar. Vane manipulated you. He serves order, Valerius retorted, his energy blade humming to life. And you serve chaos. The truth you seek will tear the galaxy apart. The truth unites, Valerius. Lies divide, Alara shouted, her voice echoing. The Shadow Keepers opened fire, their energy blasts scorching the icy floor. Rex returned fire, his plasma bolts forcing the Keepers to take cover. Ghost, meanwhile, melted into the shadows, a silent, deadly presence. Valerius engaged Rex directly, his energy blade clashing with Rex's pistol in a shower of sparks. Valerius was faster, more skilled, but Rex fought with a desperate fury, fueled by the revelations about Vane. As Rex fought Valerius, Alara rushed towards the Gamma-7 storage unit, but one of the Shadow Keepers, sensing her move, intercepted her, blocking her path. Suddenly, a series of invisible, razor-sharp energy darts flew from the shadows, striking the Shadow Keeper. The Keeper's shields flickered, and it stumbled, momentarily disoriented. Ghost had intervened. Alara seized the opportunity, quickly accessing the Gamma-7 unit. Her fingers flew across the console. The cryogenic seal hissed open, and the Veritas fragment, glowing faintly, began to emerge. Valerius, seeing the fragment being retrieved, let out a roar of rage. He disengaged from Rex, shoving him hard against a cryogenic unit, and lunged towards Alara. No, that fragment must be destroyed. But Ghost moved faster. He materialized directly in Valerius's path, a silent, unyielding barrier. Valerius, surprised by Ghost's sudden appearance, tried to slash at him with his energy blade. Ghost, however, didn't evade. Instead, he reached out and grabbed Valerius's wrist, twisting it with surprising force. Valerius grunted in pain. Ghost then delivered a precise, controlled burst of energy from a hidden device on his gauntlet, directly into Valerius's armor. Valerius cried out, his armor sparking violently. His energy blade flickered and died. He stumbled backward, clutching his chest, his transparent visor showing a flicker of fear. Your corrupted technology is unstable, Valerius. Ghost's voice was a low hum, and easily exploited. Rex, recovering, grabbed Alara and the Veritas fragment. Let's go, he won't be out for long. They sprinted towards the main exit. The other Shadow Keepers, seeing Valerius incapacitated, and facing Ghost's relentless unseen attacks, hesitated, momentarily disoriented. As they reached the exit, Rex risked a glance back. Valerius was on his knees, his armor smoking. He looked up, his eyes burning with hatred. You will not escape Vane's reach, Captain. The truth will die with you. They didn't wait to find out. They burst out of the black site, scrambling back into the rogue star as the perpetual blizzard raged around them. Rex immediately initiated liftoff. The rogue star ascended from Xylos Minor, leaving the frozen moon and the incapacitated Valerius behind. Another fragment of truth secured. Another enemy temporarily defeated. But the stakes had never been higher. Grand Admiral Theron Vane, the architect of lies, he was the ultimate target. We have it, Captain, Alara said, her voice filled with a mix of relief and awe as she held the new Veritas fragment. This contains the direct evidence linking Vane to the Libertonian cover-up. This is it. Not it yet, Alara, Rex corrected, his gaze fixed on the endless stars. Just another piece. We have to figure out how to use this, how to expose Vane to the entire galaxy without getting ourselves killed in the process. Ghost, who had returned to his silent vigil in the cockpit, offered his assessment. Exposing a Grand Admiral will require undeniable proof presented to a forum that cannot ignore it, the Council's high tribunal, but reaching it and ensuring your evidence is heard will be a monumental challenge. A monumental challenge, Rex repeated, a grim smile on his face. Sounds like just another Tuesday. Alara, Ghost, let's find the next fragment, and then we figure out how to bring down a Grand Admiral. The journey to expose the truth was far from over. It was escalating into a direct confrontation with the highest echelons of galactic power, a battle for the very narrative of history itself.